going to do a little bit of a change here in what I'm going to do. Instead of 8.447, I'm going to do 8.006, which is another dimension I've got set up on the print. That'll give me a good dimension to come into for our parting line. I'm sorry, not our parting line. Our parting tool to come in and cut a groove in this location. So I need 6 thou. And there it is. And just a sanity check. Not that I'm going to see 6 thou. Just making sure we're in the ballpark. Can't do it on that side. Ran out of room. Set my dial on the back side. So I can still see it. Okay, double check. Okay, we're good there. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's going to do fine. I'll manually do this and then I'll bring it back and use the power feed. It's a shit surface finish. Let's slow it down a little bit. be in there yet. $7.35. Ooh. Turning a bit of a taper. Okay. So means
I had to make a small adjustment to the tailstock so that it would stop turning the taper on this part.
Here. Dial in another 5. Alright, we're at 727 and about 2/10. So we need to make more of an adjustment here. The 5 thou depth of cut, and I'm going to slow it down some more. Do a 7 thou feed rate and get some ears on.
Yeah, I'm still turning the taper on this. Oh, come on. Still a taper? You've got to be kidding me. Still a taper.
1/10 large. As expected, parts bowing like this from tool pressure. Not a lot I can do about it without a fouler. I'll probably have to bring that into size with emery.
Here I'm machining a small step on the end of the shaft for the lead on the threads. Here I'm machining the back thread relief. Here I'm putting a lead chamfer on the front and the back of the threads of 45 degrees.
Off camera, made a gauge collet, or gauge bushing, using the tap that I got from Amazon. So drilled this out. This is a piece of 4140 hot roll Q&T. Took me 2 hours to tap this. Before you say anything about harassing me about the length of time, I didn't want to break the tap. So turn it 15 degrees, back it out, break the chip, go back in, do it some more. So that being said, from here gonna bring my tool post back over, put it back on. I got my cutter made based off of the tap, and I did a good job matching that up. So now what we're gonna do is get that chucked up in a tool holder and get to making chips. And I gotta look up the angle again. I believe it's 28.5 degrees for the Acme thread pitch. So which means I need to turn my compound to say 27.5 to 28 degrees. That way I can reduce the tool pressure on it. I'm only cutting a single lead thread, so I don't need to worry about making it overly complicated by having to cut a double helix. In case I didn't mention it before, on the worm gear, or the worm specifically, that is a double lead pitch Acme. I don't know if it's a gear thread or if it is a Acme thread. I just used the original wheel on that, but that's getting off topic here. So let me get that tool post put on here. I'll bring you back and we'll get ready to start cutting chips and get this thing done. Okay, so it is a 29 degree pitch. So we're going to set the compound to 14 degrees, which is half a degree less than the halfway point. Okay, there's 14. Double checked it with a scale. And we look good.
Setting a dial indicator up on the back side of the cross slide is the best position in this particular case, so that I can return it to home every time.
That way it tells me that this is 0 every time. Checking the spindle bushings and that spindle in there to make sure it's not getting hot. 'cause with those being new bushings, probably going to require a bit of a break-in. The camera got shut off.
As you can see, I got quite a bit of this cross slide reassembled before I figured out the camera was off.
Alright. Alright, tighten up this nut.
Here I'm just using a center punch to tap the retaining nut around on the face of the saddle so that it holds the cross slide lead screw in place.
Okay. Whoops. Kinda need that screw. Alright, so I've taken the nut out, or the bolt out here, so now we can wind this thing forward. And there's what we got. The nut's working good, very easily keeps it in place. Little to no wobble there. I do have some wobble in the bushings, which is alright. So now, I got a set of feeler gauges here. We're going to figure out if I can figure out where I set them down at. Oh boy, they're there. And we'll figure out how much shim stock we need to add in there. And let's start off with 10. Okay. The only thing we got now is the 3-jaw chuck. And this set screw. Don't forget the set screw for the gibs. Okay. All right. I think that'll loosen up after a bit. I have to wipe this thing down really good. All right, folks, see you next time.